How is this going to be impacting our Indian markets? We have a team of research joining in with us as always to set you up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. First up, let's go across to Vivek, who's here to tell us what are we watching out for in terms of the market cues, what should we be expecting in terms of an opening for the Indian market. Good morning, Vivek.
Well, good morning. Absolutely right. Well, talking about overnight cues, US markets ended largely higher, but one particular development over the weekend that might sour the sentiment is the fact that Moody's went ahead and downgraded the US credit rating, and the Asian markets have taken a bit of a slightly negative cue on the back of this particular development. The US futures on Sunday too saw a bit of a sell-off. Now, talking about oil prices actually gained over 1% on Friday. Brent gained over 1.3% and now trading and hovering around the $65.4 a barrel mark. Well, Indian markets actually enjoyed a spectacular rally the week gone by. Both the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty actually saw a rally of over 4% each, and this was aided by very strong FI flows, especially that have started resuming in the second half of this particular month itself. The mid-cap index and the small-cap index actually outperformed. The mid-cap index gained 7% in the week gone by. On Friday, however, the markets, the benchmark indices ended largely flat, but the outperformance from the broader end of the markets continued. The mid-cap index continued to trade with significant gains, and which thereby ensured that the advanced decline ratio was very strong. What did very well? Well, you couldn't look beyond the different stocks, especially in the week gone by. Last 6-7 trading sessions, there's been continuously on an upswing. Today, they will continue to remain in focus. Results of HAL, the stock will react to that. Also, results of BEL is scheduled today. You saw a couple of large blocks, that actually impacted the FI flow figures. So you saw Bharti Airtel as well as JSW Infra. Both of these blocks transpired on the trading session of Friday. Looking into today, number one, quite a few results continue, and Asian markets as well as GIFT Nifty indicating a flat to slightly muted start for our own markets today.
Well, thank you so much for that, Vivek. 17-point downtick is what the GIFT Nifty is indicating as of now. But now over to Upasna, who will list out the stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning, Upasna.
Good morning, Vamakshi. First up, let me start with Divi's Lab. Company has reported a good set of numbers, beat on margins and profit to uphold. Net profit was up 23% and margins stood at 34.3% versus 31.7%. And mind you, we were working with a poll estimate of 31.9%. Now, Amber Enterprises, again a good set of numbers. Q4 revenue was a beat. Strong growth contributed by 74% growth in the company's electronics segment and 28% in consumer durables. Revenue saw an uptick of 34%, EBITDA margin stood stable at 7.9%, and PAT saw an uptick of 20% on a YoY basis. Galaxy Surfactants is the next one on our radar. Decent growth amid a challenging environment. Now, revenue saw an uptick of 23%, EBITDA margins 11.1% versus 10.9%, and PAT saw a downtick of 2%. Next up is Delivery. Overall, company has reported a good operational performance. Profit stood at 73 crores versus a loss of 68 crores, and revenue saw an uptick of nearly about 6% on a YoY basis. Premier Energies also saw a strong set of numbers, and company has announced aggressive capex for capacity expansion targets for FY28. Revenue saw an uptick of 44% on a YoY basis, and margins stood at 32.6 versus 16.4. And company has also said that it has a total estimated capex of 1,250 crore. BEL is the next one on our counter. On the back of the order win, the company secures additional orders worth 572 crore since 7th of April. DRL will also be in focus as US FDA has issued Form 482 with 2 observation for company's API Middleburg facility in New York. KC International will also be in focus on the back of additional order wins worth 1,100 crores. And lastly, GSK Pharma will also be in focus as fire incidents has occurred at a contract manufacturing facility of the company. Hence, operations are halted temporarily. So, all in all these are the key stocks in focus on our radar today.
Okay, Upasana, thank you so much for that. But finally, Mangalam is also waiting by to tell us what's going to be happening in the world of FNO this morning. What are we watching out for? Good morning, Mangalam.
Good morning. There was a sharp rise that we saw on Thursday. Thereafter, there was consolidation that was expected on Friday, and that's exactly what took place. If you look at the frontline indices, but typically after a big move, we have consolidation on the front line, but it's the mid-tier stocks that see a big move, and that's what we saw in broader markets. Nifty Next 50 up 1.5%, Nifty Mid-Cap Index up around 1%, Small Cap Index up 2% as well. If you look at the cash market flows, you'd be a little flattered to deceive. We had 5,000 crores buying from the DIIs, 8,800 crores by the FIs. But remember, this was a function of a couple of large trades that took place on Friday. We had Bharti Airtel and we had JSW Infra as well. So all of that is impacted in the cash market flows. what you need to look at is index futures. After a big purchase in the previous trading session, the FIs unwound some long positions. They sold about 1,800 crores in index futures and they added mild shorts. So if you look at it, on May 14, the FI short exposure was 62%, long exposure 38%. The next day there was short covering rally. It jumped all the way up to 46% on the long exposure and now just moderated down to about 42 odd percent itself. 25,000 remains the fulcrum for our market. 25,000 call writers fairly active for a premium of 200 rupees. Put writers equally active for a premium of around 150 rupees. So put these together, you're looking at a premium of roughly 350 rupees, and 350 points on either side is what we're looking at on the Nifty in terms of a broad range. For the Nifty Bank, it's the 20-day moving average where it took support and bounced back from, and that remains an important support on the way down as well. Just keep an eye out on T-Target Wagons. It's entered F&O ban, and CDSL on Friday exited F&O ban.
Well, thank you so much for that, Mangalam. But